Hello and welcome to this Tuesday, July 29th, 2019, or 30th, Tuesday, July 30th, 2019 episode of Tesla Sidekick. Today's episode is about Megapack. So Megapack was just announced yesterday, and it's probably worthless to most people in their day-to-day thought process. But to the people building the cities, communities, grids of the future, now this is a big deal. The Megapack transforms the way we power the grid, delivering gigascale capacity. This is from their website. 3 megawatt hour max energy capacity, 10x faster installation, 1 gigawatt hour plus scale projects enabled. So we took everything we know about battery technology to enable the world's largest energy project. A 1 gigawatt hour project provides record energy capacity, enough to power every home in San Francisco for 6 hours. Okay, so that's huge. And I've been looking into what's going on with solar. It's interesting that they announced this now. And I believe that they're announcing this now, for one, to build buzz, but more importantly, because Elon just also tweeted that they plan to ramp up to 1,000 solar roofs manufactured per day. Pretty sure that's what he said. So that's a big deal. Per day. Now I've got to look it back up. Oh, per week, I mean. Either way, it's still a lot. That's what I mean, per week. I apologize. Tesla is ramping up solar roof tile production to 1,000 roofs per week. And so if we can take anything from the Model 3, it's that Elon may delay things. His projections may be delayed, but he can get things done. I mean, there are over 500,000 Teslas on the road. This has happened like that. There were almost none, and now there are 500,000. There were thousands. Now you see them everywhere. I see them in every major city. That's pretty incredible. It's really exciting. And with Gigafactory 3 ramping up, with Gigafactory 2, I think it really came down to talent. There just isn't enough talent to get all this done. There's only one Elon Musk, and he's having trouble finding the right people. You know, he finds people and then they go off and start their own things. He finds people and then they quit and go to Apple or other companies. Some of that is probably, a lot of that has to do with the people not being talented enough. When they go and start their own companies, that isn't so much the case. But when they go work for another company, there's a good chance that that is the case a lot of times, because you've got to look at what has transpired over the last few years with Tesla. And I think the biggest, most important thing is that they've ramped up production, and that they're getting these vehicles in more hands, and that they're actually innovating, and that they're actually maintaining their lead ahead of the competition. Even with all the craziness with Elon Musk, they're still improving. They're still ramping up production. They're still getting better. They're still making leaps and bounds. That's why he's acting erratic, because it seems erratic to the outside people. But to people that have to go through that level of development, they understand that you're going to get a little wonky sometimes. You're going to need to take a step back at times. But ultimately, Elon needed to hit his goals and he needed to get to certain levels. He needs to celebrate and move on. He can't just dwell in the celebrations for too long. That's kind of a misconception. People don't really understand the human mind enough to know what is right and what's wrong. Now, we can look at health and, our body weight, things like that. And I think that's something that Elon should take into account. But I also think that we should take into account mental health and the impact from outside influences. And sometimes you just got to go to work and shut out all outside influences and just get things done. And I think that's what Elon is trying to do while marketing enough to continue ramping up growth at the speed that production is ramped up, because you've got to have a balance, because if people wait too long, they're going to be unhappy, and that's happening in some things. But on the other hand, if there's not enough, then you've got the problem of, well, what do we do with this manufacturing capacity? And now I think that they're fine. Some of the things were delayed. The solar roof, they didn't start production because it wasn't quite as high quality as they wanted. They've got to produce things that are going to last, that are going to be worth producing. There's no sense in wasting the materials and manpower to put these on roofs, only to have to replace them in 5-10 years. This is a completely new product category that hasn't really worked out well. There was a company that had tried such a thing, and I don't remember exactly what happened, other than that they were closing up part of what they were doing in one of the news reports that I had read. And I had looked into them at the time because I was interested in the solar roofs that Tesla was doing. And I've done roofs. This is a very complicated thing. I have a roof that's brand new, that was done relatively properly. I mean, I haven't got up there and looked at it, but the contractor said, oh yeah, everything was done properly on the roof. I don't understand why it was leaking. And yet it's a brand new roof, less than 6 months old, and less than 6 months of occupancy at least, and maybe less than a year old. And this roof is already leaking around a vent. These things are so critical that Tesla has to figure out. So I'm excited. I'm excited to see Megapack. Sorry, it's Megapack. I'm excited to see that, because it means that we're probably going to see a lot more from Tesla in the energy sector in the time to come. And it also means that we're starting to see more and more build upon the past. So that builds upon Power Pack and Power Wall. Well, now they've got the capacity to build microgrids for entire cities, which is very important when they're building gigafactories, employing 20,000 people and needing to house them. Tesla's doing something so big, it's kind of blowing my mind. And I don't know exactly where Elon's head is at. He has thought about manufacturing housing in factories. With what I'm doing with Happy Hero Spaces, villages, and cities, I feel like I am a perfect partner for Tesla. And I feel like I need a lot of people like me. What I'm doing for Tesla, I need a lot of people to do that for the city. And Elon needs them. We all are working together. It's an ecosystem. That's what capitalism is. So Elon can't do it all, and that's what we're seeing. We're seeing that he's trying, but he can only do so much as the leader. We need more leaders starting companies doing these things, not leaders jumping ship from Tesla or Apple to go work for other companies, but leaders that are leaving these companies to then go on and create their companies through the wealth that they had acquired from their tenure at these other places. Some of the early employees are very, very wealthy. Some of the long-term employees at Apple are very, very wealthy. Now these people can go and take that wealth and spread it around with the Apple ecosystem and build something even greater. It's not about jumping ship to other companies to compete, but to support, to create the best and spread it around. And that's what I feel like Elon's truly doing. And the Model 3 production is proof that he can do it. So I completely have faith that maybe not by the end of the year, but maybe 6 months after that, they'll be to 1,000 roofs per week. So the next 6 months to a year, 1,000 roofs per week. That'll be cool. All right, thanks. Have a great one. And we'll join tomorrow for the Model X.